Hi, welcome to the bathtub. Happy New Year. This is the old master bather wishing all a happy New Year. And um, Lucky wants to. You want to come wish everybody a happy New Year? Come on. Okay. Come on. Up. And you can get. Want to show everybody one of your Christmas presents? Okay. Here's Lucky. She wants to come and say hi. This is her Christmas frog. This is her Christmas butt scratch. This is you'll be forced to have a butt scratch. You'll be forced to have your neck rubbed. Lucky's had a pretty good Christmas. She's only attacked us once or twice, and we're gonna put her down now. You want to go down? Go ahead. Good dog. That's all. We have no. Those are not. It's hard to tell it's because it's such a finely tuned, well rehearsed program that was actually ad libbed. Lucky was ad libbing with the Christmas frog, and Santa frog, I should say. We're gonna do a special New Year's episode here, which is we started a whole new idea. Because people said, you don't have enough theme shows. So we have a new theme show now, which is at the end of the year or the beginning of the year. We're going to do a top 10, my favorite reads, my favorite reads, discoveries, bathtub entertainments of the year. We have to do it fairly quickly because it looks like somebody here has already decided we're going to do something else. This is top 10 or 11 things. I looked back over the episodes of 2024. Oh my God, I'm going to get that frog and you can't get it now. Oh, that'll teach her. Do you want to show everybody your Christmas? Where's your Christmas wreath? Come on. You want to show everybody your Christmas wreath? Come on. Come on, you gotta come up here. Come on. Oh, yeah, up. Show everybody your Christmas wreath. This is Lucky's Christmas wreath. Here, put your head on. Oh, okay, I don't want it. You want the Christmas wreath? Okay, you can get that. There you go. Here's the Christmas wreath. Go get it. Oh, you want to get back up here again? Come on, I think that's enough. No, now you're getting crazy. 10 books that we really enjoyed in 2024, rereading. What do you know? I have to do this quickly because she knows we're doing this now. The Road. I read this before. I really enjoyed it the second time through. This is part of our ongoing reading everything Cormac McCarthy wrote. And this year we're finally going to get up to The Passenger and Stella Maris. But I really enjoyed reading The Road again. It's just as upsetting and beautifully written as it was the first time. Another one of the top 10s for me was, I didn't realize this, after many years of reading the entire Maigret series, 88 books, I believe, plus short story collections, we finished this is the last Maigret novel. That's what it says on the cover. It's the last one he published. It was published, what year was this? We're big Simenon fans here. If you don't know, it's because you have not watched the show. This is 1972, it was originally published. It's the very last Maigret, and it's a really good one. Every one of them was good. I loved all the Maigrets. And it doesn't end. As I've mentioned, the Maigret series comes to... Simenon tries to kill off Maigret, or he tries to retire him several times over about a 40-year period. And then he just keeps bringing him back out of retirement because he likes writing about him. Anyway, this is the last one. It ends in media res. There's no big conclusion. He just goes home to his wife and he solves another crime, as I recall. Big discovery for me. My favorite discovery of the year. We've talked about her a lot this year. Big fans of now Life of Sonora Babb by Iris Jamal Dunkel. And Writing Like the Wind was Sonora Babb's nickname when she was a little kid, because when she was 5 years old, supposedly a Native American chief gave her a horse, and it took off, and she was holding on about 5 years old, and the natives, the local tribe people, called her Riding Like the Wind because she could ride this damn horse real fast. She had a crazily fascinating life, really interesting woman, very likable woman, and a very good writer. And I really loved reading her stories. Cry of the Timamu, we've talked about this. My favorite short story discovery this year was The Cry of the Timamu. One of my favorite nonfiction books this year, I had to write this down because I don't have the hardcover copy, was Cocktails with George and Martha by Philip Gefter. It's just a book. It's a book about the making of the movie Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, the great Edward Albee, the great play by Edward Albee. I couldn't find my copy of the play, but it's somewhere in the closet. And we really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed rewatching this and I really enjoyed rewatching the movie and reading that book about the making of this fascinating movie and the real weird relationships, particularly with Mike Nichols, who sounded like a really difficult, strange, fascinating guy. Big fans of G.B. Trudeau, one of my favorite. They call them graphic novels now. They're just basically comic strip collections. It covers the year 2000. It's called Duke 2000, whatever it takes. It's about the year that idiot was. One of the previous idiots became president, and it's about Duke trying to run for president. And it's just all the characters are just all so fascinating. He never turns it into routine comic strip. The characters grow and breathe and change. It's a wonderful series. Gets better over the years. I didn't put down the title of this book either. Here's one I forget the title of. I did a biography. It wasn't a biography of Dorothy Parker. It was called Dorothy Parker in Hollywood. And I reviewed that for the Spectator a few months ago. And it's by Gail Crowther. And in the course of reading that kind of fascinating book, I like these biographies that aren't too long and they kind of just focus on a period of a person's life. I enjoyed rereading Dorothy Parker, and we started a new bathtub, a poet's corner, as you know, and Poet's Corner. We took some of her dark light verse in there and her short stories. Really fascinating writer, really enjoyable writer. Speaking of it's called Poet's Corner. We started that in 2024. Big high point of a show without any high points. It's the show goes like this really, and then there's like a little tremble of a high point, and that was the idea. Our bathing buddy Bob Black. Say that quickly 5 times. Bathing buddy Bob Black, a poet himself, sent me, and please don't send me books. Send them to your family. Send your family, your kids, and your parents. But still, he sent me three books of poetry, all of which I'm enjoying. One was Faithful and Virtuous Night by Louise Gluck. Someone said it's Glock. We went through this. We tried to remember how to pronounce it correctly, and we will never will. But I think it was Louise Glock. Anyway, I think this was her last book of poetry. She died not long after this, I guess. It was published in 2014, and I really enjoyed reading it. I've been a fan of her work for many years, but I hadn't read the last few collections, and so thanks to our new Poet's Corner, where we don't say anything clever about poetry. We just basically read the short passages from it, right? Another one, a writer who I have long loved to hate, which was Henry James. I'm working on some stuff about Henry James at the moment, and as a result, for the past 6 months, I've been trying to go back and reread him or read him. I went back and reread 2 books of his that I actually, one of which I actually really liked the first time I read it. This is A Portrait of a Lady in a really cool Penguin edition. You can't have this. It's mine. I love the old orange spine Penguin editions. Lovely copy. Always have these cool art covers on them. I loved Portrait of a Lady when I read it the first time back in grad school, and I reread it and enjoyed it a lot the second time. It's pretty. All the things I complained about Henry James with these huge, sometimes these like skyscraper length paragraphs he writes, in which every single scintilla of reflected experiences is just belabored. Sometimes it feels like it. I found it a very soothing, enjoyable book. I enjoyed it. It was quite a moving book, quite a sad book, and quite a powerful book. And then I went and reread The Princess Casamassima, the closest to a political novel, in which his central character, Hyacinth Robinson, who has a kind of a bad unhappy childhood, and it's about his getting involved in this kind of anarchist, revolutionary movement in the late 19th century. And I read this in grad school. I mentioned this to my old professor, John Rowe, great friend and former professor, who got me to read this book. I hated it when I read it. I read it. I made lots of notes in it, and I completely forgot it. So anyway, I was interested in rereading it, and I reread it over the past few months. And as we've done episodes on all these books, I loved it. I really enjoyed it this time, and I kind of was totally absorbed by it, which is I can't always say I'm absorbed by Henry James. Anyway, that was a great read for 2024, and I think finally, I have 2 more things here. Penultimately, I went back to read Henry Fielding, who I did love as an undergrad. I really loved Tom Jones. I had not read a lot of his other stuff. I never read Shyamala, I don't think, before. And I read Pamela. We talked about Pamela and Shyamala. And Shyamala was Henry Fielding's very short takeoff and satire on this ridiculously crazy novel by Samuel Richardson. And it led me to read Joseph Andrews, which we just did a piece on probably a few weeks ago. And Joseph Andrews is kind of a miniature version of Tom Jones. The same idea, just one serious, ridiculous, rollicking, sexist. It's a sexcapade. It's lots of sexual adventures, and this young man who all the girls love, and all the different trouble he gets into, and all his girlfriend who's very beautiful, and all the trouble she gets into, and there's a family romance hidden away in the background so that everyone can be wealthy at the end. It's a really fun book. Joseph Andrews, big fan of Henry Fielding's, and we still want to go back and reread Tom Jones someday. Finally, we do every week, every month or two, we do a vintage paperback roundup. No vintage paperback hodgepodge. You don't get your hodgepodge confused with your roundabout, and you're going to live a good life. The two books that really I enjoyed just about a month or two ago was rereading Tom Dish's Mankind Under the Leash, which is about basically, it's been told, it had different titles. My favorite is White Fang Goes Dingo. And the premise is basically Earth people are made slaves by these masters who come from another dimension or something, and they put leashes on them, and they love being dogs. They love being enslaved, and it's about some of them who unhappily have to become free. It's a very funny book. It's very short. It's Tom's first novel, and I really enjoyed rereading it. I reread another one, The Eyes of the Old Overworld by Jack Vance. I'm kind of going back. I'm kind of going into a Jack Vance kick right now. This is the sequel to The Dying Earth. It's an episodic adventure. I think we've talked about this. Vance's novels tend to be a little bit messed up. They don't always work. They're always a little too long. They have lots of digressions. His short novels, 40 to 50 pages, are his perfect length for him. And this is a series of short novels. They're about 40 pages each chapter, and they're little adventures of Kugel the Clever trying to travel across this dying Earth. It was great fun. I really enjoyed it, and it led me right in. We're going to do another episode in another week or two about the sequel to this, written by two different people. We'll talk about that. And I'm kind of, every time, I'm really getting, I think I'm going to spend a lot of time reading Jack Vance in the next few years, because it's very escapist and it's brilliantly well done. Anyway, there you go. Lots of different books. Those are my 10 favorites. Maybe you had different ones. Comment as you wish. We've got our mineral water here, unpixelated. I'm still Pao Zhao Jiao Shou, foamy bathtub professor. We're going to take this off into the 2025. Bathing with a vengeance. Bathe with a vengeance. Have a great year, and bathe with a vengeance. Don't let the world bother you too much, and always find time for the bathtub. Stay safe.